Hello, Cancer. It's the witching hour. Welcome, welcome. My name is Michelle and I'm a witch. This is The Mystic Smuggler. I am proprietress of The Mystic Smuggler, my Etsy shop, and my own website. So please make yourself comfortable. Welcome to this space. Welcome to your space. This is for you. It's for all Cancer energy, any placement in your chart, any astrological method, such as Vedic or tropical. It pertains to everything Cancer for you. Okay, so I'm using the Pagan Ways Tarot by Anna Franklin. I've divided the deck up into 4 areas: love, security, freedom, with an overall message from Spirit that is your aura at this time. This message is being uploaded November 2020, but it is relevant when you come to it. And you can watch it however many times you want. The timing of all these events are fluid, as time really doesn't exist. It's just a concept. There's light time and there's night time. That's as simple as it gets for me, and that's kind of how I roll. At least that's the closest I try to roll that way to the best of my ability. Even to where I kind of control the lighting in my home. If it's daytime, I put all the lights on. And when it's nighttime, I shut everything off and just light very dim lighting so that I don't stumble over things. Or just light candles sometimes. So I try not to overly rely on electricity, and I try to stay as close to my natural physiological rhythms as I can. I do a little bit each day, and I do the best I can. But that's my aim. This deck here is called the Lemurian Star Child Oracle. It is amazing. I usually channel these cards. I don't use the book whatsoever. I channel the tarot as well, but I am more of a channeler than, as far as my practice goes, I am equally a medium and a channeler, but I tend to use the channeling more often. I use the mediumship, and even my mediumship has become channeling now, because I'm empathic, so the person I'm reaching on the other side who has crossed over, it's like I absorb their energy and I'm them speaking, it's like I become them. Okay, but I don't lose my consciousness. I'm still there. As if all of this wasn't woo-woo enough. But to me, it's normal, and I just simply talk about it matter-of-factly. So here is the impression I was getting off the crystal. Here was a lot of stuff going on, and you needed to have a rainbow to focus on. It's interesting that this card has very similar patterns in it as the crystal. And this is the rainbow. And the message of the card being surrender, and I'll bring it to you so you can see it. I'm hoping it's focusing well enough. Surrender. Release misaligned energies. Retune to your truth. There seems to me to there's like an overall chaotic energy, but it's good, but in the sense that it's all swirling around you at once, it feels chaotic and a bit stressful. So it's a time of manifesting right now as you come to this reading. You have a way of making your dreams a reality at this moment, but it's hard to maintain your focus. So in retuning to your truth will help in dissolving these other distractions in your mind and de-stress a bit. You have to kind of like choose, as opposed to waiting for things to settle down. You have to choose for things to settle down. You have to focus in on one thing what's most important to you, and the rest will dissipate on its own. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. I'm just saying that's what's necessary. That's all the energy I'm getting. I'm not advising you to do anything. I don't offer advice or legal or medical advice, anything like that. Really, even spiritual advice. I try to offer channeled guidance, and you choose whether or not you will take what's offered and take what resonates and leave the rest. Kind of a staple nowadays to say that to people in a reading, but it's true. Okay, so spirit and your aura, what is the focus of your life path right now? It is the elder. This is similar to the Hierophant in traditional tarot, but there's a lot more dignity and respect involved here, because this elder does not force his wisdom upon anybody. He does not force his moral compass upon anyone else. He places it only on himself. Spirit is saying, apply your truth to yourself only. Only. And that it will benefit everyone else by default, but you cannot apply your morals to others. At the bottom of the deck, we have the underworld. Yeah, because underneath everything, I believe this is Hecate, and here are her two hounds. She knows what the depth of these are almost like opposites. This would be the devil card in traditional tarot. But this is not demonized here. It's she knows, she brings a light down into the subconscious or down into the shadow parts of yourself, and she brings them up to light, and then it comes up to your conscious mind and becomes your sage wisdom. It's like, I know, you know yourself. I know myself so well. I know what I'm capable of, good and bad. And there's just nothing around that, and there doesn't need to be any sugarcoating of it. And if you can't focus on what you truly want and look at the obstacles in your way, like if you're in your own way, if you can't face that, then it's hard to narrow down your focus. But this person knows themselves very, very well. They know the light and the shadow. They cannot present themselves as 100% perfect to the world. They have to present themselves simply as they are, both sides integrated and ready to be put on display, is what Spirit just said. So present yourself, warts and all. Make no apologies, but carry no arrogance. Surrender to the process. Focus. You're being told to share your wisdom, but you must not come across as if you know it all. Because we don't really know much of anything except the biggest reality, which is love. So at the bottom of the deck for love, we have the Two of Cups, which is amazing. So this is a soul union here. A soul union. And that is the word for it here, union. This is either in spirit or in the physical world, but it's a union, and a real one nonetheless, even if it's with your spirit guides or a loved one that's crossed over. It's a true union. It's a real union. It plays itself out in reality. It's very realistic. It's real. It's real. Our actual card that we're drawing is the King of Cups, water. The essence, the personification of water, the emotions of time. Remember how I said time is fluid? This is, your emotions are fluid. There are crests and swells and ebb and flow of water. That's just how you cannot rein or contain all of that in one cup. But you do have your own piece of the ocean. Here, this is yours. That's what you can control. That's what you can give. That's what you can receive. But here, he's all bubbled up as if he's being protected from his heart taking over his mind, which could lead to this kind of obsession here. It's not to demonize. It's a fact. It's just a fact. They're just the facts, ma'am. And they are just facts, not for us to be afraid of. We are all capable of allowing our feelings to get to our head. So this one is emotionally mature enough to know I can't be addicted to positive feelings so much so that I allow my emotions to rule everything and rule the way I'm thinking. So I'm bubbling myself up and allowing some flexibility here, a balance of emotion and thought. So this is essentially emotional maturity. And there's one in this union. Someone is trying to demonize something in this union, when really all it requires is inner truth. Inner truth, just like this said. Surrender not to the other person, but retune to your inner truth. Okay? Surrender that energy. Release misaligned energies. And that's what I'm feeling is happening here. But you must identify that the so-called culprit is not you or the other person. The so-called culprit is how much are my emotions getting away from me to where it's interfering with my functionality and interfering with the relationships that I want to maintain. The flip side of that is how much are you suppressing your emotions and not letting them into your thinking process. You're being completely rational because you don't want your feelings to take over, because you know you have a tendency to do that. Sometimes will be influential in you blocking your emotions when you make decisions, when you really should take your emotions into consideration. So there's that little flip-floppy imbalance there, and demonizing one person or the other when you have to look at the energy source within, align yourself, and then either the relationship will be seen for what it is, imbalanced, and you surrender to that because you know that your truth is what truly matters the most and your feelings, or you see that you have misaligned your energies with this person because you needed them more than you loved them, or you're going to release them and surrender yourself to your own will, your own heart's calling, your own path. That's what it's coming to here. It's almost like a decision. You can't ignore the truth just because you have a bond with someone. You have to face the reality of it. And you're wise enough and old enough and mature enough to do this at this time. At the very least, you're being called to, and you better, so to speak. It's imperative, I guess, or crucial is what Spirit is saying. It's crucial that you do this, and I feel that the time is now. Whenever you come to this reading, the time is now. Unless you were afraid of coming to this reading because you thought it might contain that message and you avoided watching it. Ouch! My kitten just jumped down from the table on my leg, and her nails dug in. It hurt. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to be looking at the practical side of things, your security, the tangible things in your life. Food, clothing, shelter, and your life calling, the thing that you feel you are meant to do. Meant to do this. You don't have to professionalize it or sanctify it to the point that it just becomes all-consuming. It needs to be integrated into your life in a balanced, tangible way, but you know there's no way you'd ever stop doing this. You wouldn't give this up for anybody or anything. Okay? Even though it might be your 9 to 5, it might not be. It doesn't matter. It's your life calling. The bottom of the deck, we have Princess of Pentacles, the energy of Samhain, which is an equivalent of the daily version of death and transformation. For something to be born, something needs to die. There is a release here. There is also an honor of your ancestors, an honor of ancient wisdom and truth, ancient emotional maturity. I'm getting to raise the level on the emotional connection, and if you have to do it with a different person, and the other person just isn't growing up and raising up with you, then be with yourself first. Don't latch on to a what do they call that? Not ricochet. I can't, the word is escaping me. A rebound. Don't go rebound. Just be on your own and enjoy your own energy and that of spirit. But it's coming. It's here. I feel this is a tiny bit more in the future, but this is the underlying of why these things are being brought up right now. It is a time of death and rebirth. It is a time of profound change, but it's not so much drastic. It's only going to feel drastic, which is why you're avoiding it. But what's just as drastic is the happiness on the other side. What it requires is your surrender. Here is the card we actually picked, the Ten of Pentacles. This is tradition that has been established through a legacy of giving, a legacy of conserving your energy appropriately and spending your energy appropriately. And that means physical energy. Where you place your energy and how that energy returns to you through your job, through your family, through your ancestors or elders who give back to you when you remember their wisdom, and who give you from their wealth of knowledge and savvy about the world. You are inheriting this. You are setting up an inheritance for your children or your next generation, whoever that may be, for your partnership in work, your love partnership, and your partner in life or your partner at work. You are surrendering things. You have to, because it's a critical change that is required at this time. In other words, there's really no other recourse but to go through it and surrender to the process. You have to go through it, whether it's being able to assess whether to stay or go in this connection that you have with the soul person, the soul connection, okay? That's what's happening. In the area of freedom, this is your personal power. This is your life path, not your calling. This one is your calling. This is your life path. Where your calling leads you if you follow your heart and your fire. Follow your spirit. Listen to your intuition, your very mature intuition. If you feel out of balance and you know it, you must come clean with yourself. You must say, this isn't a relationship anymore, or this isn't a partnership anymore. I realize that I'm craving something higher, but I cannot give in. I cannot give in to the temptation of saying I'm better than you and I need something better for me. It's more like we were compatible for a time, whether this is a lover, business partner, family member, relative. Notice family and relatives are distinct. This soul connection was made through the emotions and what was necessary at the time. Now it's moving beyond that. Now, is it the relationship that needs to evolve, or is it you, or is it the other person? Okay? Can you both make the relationship evolve and be in alignment? Or do you fully recognize that you're out of alignment? Maybe it's in a good way, Maybe you're out of alignment in the sense that you've evolved so much that you can no longer, it just needs to go, and you're tempted to change them or show this person how much better things are from this higher perspective. That would be the devil energy, and that would be your shadow coming, and that will really mess things up. I just got to tell you, it's a fact, it will. So it's bringing us through, surrendering through this process and allowing this process to drive us from the place of truth. Like this card, you surrender, you're going to come to your place of truth and say, I think I should be on my own. I think I need to sort myself out and clear up what my expectations are, because they're getting muddled. This person is saying, I'm this, there's something wrong with me, when really the case is that there's nothing wrong with me. We're just out of alignment. They want me to go back. They want me to rewind my evolution, and I can't do it. It's like if you went from the water to the earth. I grew legs already. I can't, I have lungs. I don't have gills anymore. I have to stay on land, and maybe they're not in that element yet. They're just not in that element. But don't think that one species is better than the other, okay? They're not. We're no better than goldfish, okay? Feels like that was channeled, but it sounds kooky, but I don't care. Bottom of the deck here in freedom, represented by the Suit of Wands, is 10 of Wands. Yeah, you've about had enough. You're going to surrender either to God's will and your divine calling and your divine path, or you're going to just resign to the fatigue of, you might be letting it turn into a crisis or a sense of urgency or exhaustion. This is oppression. Now, I feel that this is, to a degree, allowing it to come to that point, It just is, and that's fine. That was the best way you could do it, Just was too much of a struggle, but now you're disengaging from the struggle. And our real thing is, our complete renewal of energy. So be careful of that underworld energy. For the Knight of Wands, he wants adventure. He's ready to get up and just go, go, go. He's all fired up again. He feels brand new. But remember that it's sometimes like a matter of satiating a craving, so there's passion for life and living. You might even notice your sexual drive going up a bit. But Knight of Wands is not a slow and steady energy. It comes in, it's satiated, it goes seeking another adventure right away. That doesn't mean you're shallow or not a good person at all, or that you're a player, but you'll see that you're just going with that passion. You're just following it, but passion flares up and dies down. Sometimes, this form of passion does. It flares up and dies down, and you go to the next one. You want to keep having these adventures, which is great. You can't stay there forever and expect to become emotionally mature, but maybe you need to do this for a spell. Maybe you just need to follow the path of your passion just for a bit, and know that you've got to put a deadline on it to be responsible or something like that. You have to have responsibility, or you'll end up feeling like this, like I'm tired of playing around with my passion now. It's just burnt me out. Or if I stay slow and steady, that burns me out. You're looking for that balance. So what I'm going to do is draw some clarifiers with these little gypsy cards. I may or may not have time for a blessing at the end, but I feel like I definitely should use these. By the way, this is Victoria. It's the name I gave her. She was named after my first witch teacher, my first and only witch teacher, who is Victoria David Dannon. She's the one, She's just the one. She no longer sits in a teaching position the way she used to, but now she is a New York Times best-selling author. So, and I haven't read her books yet. I feel remiss. I don't know why I felt led to say that, but there you go. That's where I learned. I learned through her, not from her, but through her. That's what I got to say in all honesty. And that's what a real teacher does. They don't give you the answers. They tell you to find the answers. And they know if you're on the right track or not. Okay. I'm going to just, damn, those are really standing out to me. I'm not going to leave it to chance. Sorry. I'm just going to draw these cards. Yeah, okay, that one, it's just not wanting to let go. Okay, it's sadness. Sadness overall. For me, it wants to go here. It's like you're wanting to do this and have this high fiery passion to compensate for the sadness that this transition is bringing you. Getting too caught up in the emotions. Losing that sense of self-will because so much of it was used for survival. So instead, switch those gears a little to surrender to the process of transitioning into your own truth, the death or separation that follows, mainly in the physical, like you might tend to release some emotions tied in people you're connected to emotionally, whatever, just to be alone and regroup. And then restore your energy before you set off on the adventure. Otherwise, the adventure is just used as a substitute for the feelings you're missing out on. This can be wearisome for other people to remind you of this all the time, where other people are like the fuel for your experiences when you really need to be. So stop surviving and surrender. And just come into your own energy and let spirit inspire you, but you have to act it out. You have to make these choices yourself, is what I'm getting, and that will bring you fortune. That will most definitely bring you love and security and freedom. And this is divine fortune. This is the universe blessing you. This is not someone on the earth plane giving you a gift. This is divine fortune that you've been blessed with. You have to use it wisely, just like this card. You have to use your energy wisely. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then we're done. Okay, wants to be that one. Officer. So this is about self-discipline. This is about not relinquishing to outer authority, but relinquishing to your own authority, your own wisdom, your own emotional maturity, wanting to be in your own skin, not wanting to be part of a dynamic for the time being. It's like you need to be in your own energy for the time being. That will make things less chaotic. But in order to do that, you've got to surrender. You've got to let things go by the wayside. Stop trying to have spiritual experiences. Simply connect through your self-made experiences. Because if an experience calls to you and it really hits you in your gut and in your heart, that is divine inspiration. So don't wait to have a spiritual experience. Be the experience. Yourself. Be the spiritual experience. It's not external. And where did we just say that? It's not external. It's not an external experience. It's an internal one by creating. And then you will have the external things from the divine show up. The blessing will come when it's meant to teach you the lesson. So that is it, Cancer. I am really happy and honored to give you this message. And I hope that you will follow your heart and align yourself with spirit by following your own true self. All the links, if you want to connect with me through email, my Facebook page, my Etsy shop. Everything is in the link down below in the description box with the little arrow. Hit the arrow and the links will be there. Please give me a thumbs up and share or comment. Share this video or comment about how it resonated for you. Okay? Until we meet again, Cancer, from my soul to yours, much, much love and brightest blessings. Take care.